And now let's do the rest of Jonah 1:5. Let's repeat some of the last sentence we did in the previous video. First, see if you can pronounce this. Pause the video and try to pronounce it. So this is vayatilu, and I know that because I looked at the accent in the text. I don't have the accent written here, but it is vayatilu. The accent's on the second to last syllable. Most of the time, the accent in Hebrew will be on the last syllable, and that's the case, I think, for the rest of the verse. Vayatilu et hakelim asher ba'aniyah el hayam. I don't know whether you can translate much of that. Do you recognize any of these words? You should recognize this right here, et. You should recognize asher. You should recognize im, the ending im. You should recognize ba. You should recognize, well, I don't know whether you know el as a vocabulary word yet. I think you've had that. And hey patak doubling. Hey patak doubling. What are those things? Pause the video and think about it for a second. Well, here's the translation. Vayatilu, and they threw the vessels that in the boat, that were in the boat. We have to stick were in there. Hebrew does that a lot. You have to add words into the English for it to make good English. That were in the boat to the sea. All right. So again, what are the things that you remember or should already know? You should know the vav is what? What's the vav? It's and, okay? Now, let's finish the sentence, though. Can you pronounce this line? Pause the video. Lahakel me alehem, okay? And that means to lighten from upon them. So, and they threw the vessels or the cargo that was in the boat to the sea to lighten from upon them. In other words, it's not the way we'd say it in English, but basically they're trying to lighten the boat because the boat's got all this cargo and the storm is pretty bad. So again, what are the things that you recognize? Remember and. There's and. Do you remember what the direct object marker et is? It says direct object approaching. You don't translate et. It basically says that the next word, or the word it's attached to here by makef, the next word is the direct object. What's the direct object? It answers the question, what, after the verb. And they threw what? They threw the vessels. It's also a definite direct object marker, which means that this is the vessels. And there's a hey patak doubling, which is the. The appears 3 times in this first line, right? It's here with hakelim, the hey patak doubling. It's here at the end with hey patak doubling on hayam, the sea. And then it's here in ba'aniyah. You remember that the ba is in, that's one of the preps. And then instead of it being hey patak doubling, because of the preposition, the hey pops out like a pimple. And so the hey's gone. What the hey? Normally we would have doubling, but olives don't do doubling. That's not in my contract. I'm a guttural. I don't do doubling. And so the patak says, well, what am I going to do? I guess I'll lengthen to say, there was an article here. And so the kamatz here is all that's left to say that it's the boat, in the boat. All right, so all of those things are in that first line. Masculine plural, im. We see im here, and it's a masculine plural. So it's not just one vessel, but it's plural vessels or plural cargo. Cargoes, we don't say cargoes, but anyway, it's plural. Masculine plural ending im. Asher is the relative pronoun. It means that, which, or who. And then prepositions. We have the preposition ba. And then I want to tell you about another preposition that we've seen it, I think, but I haven't told you about it. But now I want you to know it, and that's the preposition la. Preposition la means to lighten in this particular case. To dream the impossible dream, to lighten the sea with the vessels. No, that's not it. Anyway, so la is to. So that's a new one that we're learning. By the way, the mem here is the word from. I said from upon them. I don't really want to hold you accountable for this yet, but it is interesting, right? We have the mem that means from, and then we have all that means upon, and then we have hem that means them. So this little word here, me alehem, means from upon them. Sometimes it's not even translated in English, but I'm not going to require you to know that right now. But stick it away in your memory, and when eventually we'll make it stick. All right. So this has been finishing out the verse there. There's more to the verse, however. Can you pronounce this? Here's how I would do it. Vayona, does that sound familiar? Yona, Yona, Jonah, right? And then Yarad, and then El, Yarkate, Hasafina. Hasafina. Josephina. No, it's not Josephina. Hasafina. Okay. Can you guess at what some of these words? Yonah, do you know what that is? Jonah, yeah. Some of these words aren't very high frequency, but you should know El. What's El? It is to. So here's the translation. But Jonah went down to the recesses of the ship. So why did I translate the vav as but? If you remember, normally in Hebrew, the sentence begins with the verb, and then the subject comes after the verb. But here we have Jonah first. And so that might indicate, it doesn't always, but it might indicate that the vav is contrastive here, and that a but would be a better translation. So the sailors are scurrying, save, gotta save ourselves, but Jonah, he goes down and goes to sleep. So he went down, Yarad, to the recesses of the ship. That's something we're going to, there are things in both of these words that I want to add on to our to learn list. What have we had so far? On the previous, we have the preposition la. That's the first new thing. One, and there are two new things in this line that I'm going to talk about in a second. But first, let's finish the verse. Can you pronounce these two words? Vayishkav, and then this is Vayeradam. Okay, and then a saluk, the final accent. It's the final accent. Anyway, okay, so I didn't delete it. I often delete the accents. Okay, so what do we recognize here? We recognize the va, we recognize the l. Let me tell you some new stuff. What does it mean? And he lied down and he fell asleep, right? The, and. All right, so what's the new stuff? So this kamatz he here is a feminine singular ending. Again, who knows why? I mean, actually, we think of ships as feminine in languages a lot. So give me a ship and a star to steer her by, her by. Ship is a girl. I don't know why anyway, it's often a girl in different languages. But again, it doesn't mean they're really, they thought ships were women. No, it's just a custom of assigning genders to words. So kamatz he, so the masculine singular is usually just blah, nothing added. It's just the base blah. And then we saw that im was the masculine plural. Kamatz he is the feminine singular. That's a singular girl. Like if ish is the word for man, isha, kamatz he, is the word for woman. That you'll see that a lot. So if Melech is king, then Malka is queen. So and you would probably know in Spanish, adding an a lot of times is a feminine ending. So now you know the feminine ending. I believe the next video I'm going to systematize the masculine and plural and feminine and singular. That's not the order. Masculine, singular, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. I'm going to systematize the noun endings for you in the next video. But this is a new ending, kamatz he, which is a feminine singular ending. Now this is going to be a little harder because English doesn't do this. The sere yod here, sere yod in yarkate. By the way, when you have, this is a minor rule, but when you have two shavas next to each other, the first one is a silent schwa closing a syllable, and the second one is a vocal schwa opening a syllable. So yar, that's a silent schwa. This syllable's closed with a short vowel. So that's a silent schwa, yar. And then this is ka, a vocal schwa starting the next syllable, an open syllable. But I'm not going to have you memorize that. But the sere yod here is a masculine plural construct ending. The eam that we saw in the last part of the video, the eam was a masculine plural absolute ending. That's like, we are men, we are nashim, what is it? Anashim? Anyway, never mind. I should remember that. But eam is the kind of standalone masculine plural. The Sarah Yod is masculine plural construct. And now, what is construct? Construct in Hebrew means that you stick the word of after it. Now, ours is not to question why. Ours is just to memorize or die. If something is in the construct state, you put the word of after it. So this is not, he went down to the recesses. He went down to the recesses of the ship. And so when you have recesses of, you put it in the construct state. So Sarah Yod is a masculine plural construct ending. By the way, there is something peculiar about this word that makes what I just said a slight lie, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because that would confuse you. All I want you to know is that Sarah Yod is the masculine plural construct ending, which means that you put the word of after it. I'll tell you about constructs more systematically in the next video, but I just want you to know now that Sarah Yod means it's a plural with an of after it. By the way, I put the here because here's a rule. Our first rule, not really, but first one I'm putting rule by. If the last word in a construct chain, so this is called a construct chain. These words go together. Yar kate hasafina. They go together like a horse and carriage. And in fact, I don't know what the accent is on this, but if I looked it up, I bet it would be one of the ones that kind of points, to the next one, or in some way that it kind of says, and this goes with what comes after, kind of a thing. Or for you in mirror, it would be, this comes after. This is construct. These two go together. You can have more than two words in a construct chain. So it's a series of this, of this, of this, of this. It can go on and on and on. So if the last word in a construct chain is definite, and it is, hey, patak, doubling, this is the ship, then all the words in the construct chain are definite. So it's not just the ship, but it's the recesses of the ship. Well, that's probably enough for one video, isn't it? This has been the rest of Jonah 1:5.